They told me you can't do that here, Beanie. It might sound good in one of your books, but this is a construction site. You can't build a learning environment here. But I didn't start with a touchy-feely feel-good program or some poster. It started with a shelf. One shelf, a few books, a marble, a cricket ball, and a football. That's how you build a learning environment. Not with noise, but with signals. Signals that say, we improve here and we think here. We actually give a about getting better together. Human beings don't just need motivation. They need a purpose, autonomy, and a shot at mastery. When you build that into your environment, your team will grow and they will improve. And what happens next is they start to own the change with you. You want to build your culture? Start with a shelf.
All right, 4 signals running unchecked on most projects right now. Full kit. Have we got everything that we need before we start the job? Engagement. Are people switched on and ready to go? Statistics tell us that no, they're not. Handoffs rather than float. I hate float and sequence. Stop worrying about those. Are we handing the areas off when we say we're going to? That's where tact planning comes into it. It's not that I hate sequence. I hate the way that we track it with a Gantt chart. It's not great. And constraints. What is? The system can only move as quickly as its number one constraint. Do you even know what the constraint is on your project? Nobody owns them. You're in a world of very few projects where anyone would own. Well, I could walk onto and say, who owns full kit? And someone will go, yeah, that's me. Who owns engagement? That's me. Who owns handoffs? That's me. Who owns the constraint? Managing the constraint. The critical chain. Very, very rarely, if I don't think I ever have, where I walked on and someone would say that. I use the wall route, funnily enough, to manage all 4 of those. Any of those is unowned on your project, the same, you can tell that they're not. There's a signal. A very clear signal. The same problems show up next week, guaranteed. Over and over and over again. All right, today I'm going to show you one of the biggest constraints, particularly with all sites, is getting everyone on the same page, getting a clear picture of where the project's running and what those things are, what the constraint actually is. Keeping everyone, and we spoke this yesterday about schedules. Everyone's got a different opinion of what the schedule's actually saying. That's because you're looking at a lot of noise and not clear signals. The path to building dashboards used to be slow, painful, and held in the hands of a few who could do something called coding. That is no more. I put a post up on LinkedIn last night where I said, if a boilermaker who has issues with getting his Bluetooth to sync up to his computer or his phone can build a dashboard like this, just here, in a matter of minutes, it was under 20 minutes. This is going from, I use a 3-step process to do this. So you've got to collect the data. I use Claude to do that, of course. I'm going to show you this live in real time right now, how I've added this to the back end of how I use Claude. You got to store it somewhere. Any energy or information needs to be stored. So we use Excel, or I've got this one's just run off a Google Doc. And then we need a dashboard, which is where we convert that data into a signal source of truth, which are signals. All right, let's get into it. Let's go. Okay. I always said to me the other day, Benny, if someone comes in to watch you doing this, and even though they've done 164 in a row, they haven't seen the ORCA process before, first question they're going to ask is, what the hell's ORCA? Why is he doing this? So let's show you right now.
This is the most powerful tool on earth. As an organization, we helped 3 NFL teams win the Super Bowl. by teaching them how to use this method, by coaching. It's called debrief, and it's only 4 steps. Intention, expectation, or what we call objective. Reality or results, what we call R, result. Curiosity, or what we call cause, the cause of this gap in performance. And A, action, what am I actually going to do about it?
Okay, so yesterday Whisper Flow didn't work, and Benny's just technical genius that he is probably figured out was probably because a damn dog. Just going to have to put up with it today, I'm afraid, because I didn't have it switched on. So let's get into this. We're going to run the ORCA process now. Hopefully this works because I managed to move the chat from one project to another, but I've reposted the prompt, so we should be good. Ready to do ORCA Claude. Yeah, that's definitely on Whisper Flow. Let's see what he says. If you haven't used Whisper Flow, I'll drop a link in the comments so you can go and test it out. You get a free month and I'll get a free month. It is a killer tool for running ORCA. While you're there, drop in the comments. A hot dog or not a hot dog? Yes, you've run ORCA with your team, or no, that you haven't. Home. Damn, it still hasn't sorted that out. Did you do 3 practice runs before going live? Yes, I did. Welcome back. ORCA Live, May 6. Oh yeah, we picked up where we left off. Prompt looks good so far. 1% of your audience. Step 1 is the objective. We're locking in exactly what we set out to do today. Today's objective was to, still waiting for data to come back, but it was to have a think and time session around how we can run that overlay between the critical path out of a Gantt chart, overlay it with critical chain, Dr. Eli Goldratt style, and then overlay the resources as well, the critical resource, the constraint in the system. Look at that transcription. That transcription is pretty good. It's not pretty good, it's damn good. Really accurate. Whisper Flow. I'll bang the link below. Good objective. Run a think and time session on how to overlay critical path, critical chain, and resource constraint in one unified view. Today, did it happen? I did the think and time session. Yes, I'm still waiting for, still need to cut the data. I'll have someone cut the data for me a couple of different ways to be able to actually test it with Claude. Tried doing it with Copilot. Copilot, the way that I describe it is, if Claude is a sniper rifle, Copilot's like a cap gun. Just does not have the same capabilities. You can get better results out of it. I use Claude to write prompts for Copilot, but if you're serious about AI, get into Claude. Good thinking time session data, cutting delegated, ready to test once it comes back. What come out of the thinking time session? What's the key insight? Key insight is that I need to break it down a little more, think through the steps a little more clearly, and get a process, a visual process done that I can follow, so that if it doesn't work, I can go, well, we cut off at step X, just remove that and go a different way. Good, so the think and time session produce a clearer process map, one that has decision points built in, so when something doesn't work, you know exactly where to cut and pivot. Is there a gap anywhere, or are we debriefing a win? There's still a gap, so we're still in testing phase. So this, as I said yesterday, falls under our experimentation for the EXO model, and it's going to take a little bit of work. There's going to be a gap. We're going to have to keep testing and measuring and trying again until we get this exactly right. Understood. Experimentation by definition has a gap until the process is proven. That's not a failure. That's the scientific method applied to construction scheduling. It's called physics. What's the one thing that moved forward today specifically? Well, last night, and I'm going to show this at the end of this, we've updated your prompt. So at the end of this, your job is to go and update the Google Sheet and now have a dashboard built on the back of this that tracks metrics, which you pulled out and helped me create last night, to give us insights into what we're doing on our ORCA and where our key areas of improvement will be. So that dashboard is separating signals from the noise. It's another step towards that map of daily self-improvement that the All Blacks talk about in the book Legacy. I don't know how I moved the whole chat last night. I did it because I've got fat fingers, but we did. That's the real win today. The dashboard is live, the tracker is feeding it, and every session from here builds a map. So the cause of today's progress is simple. You built the system around the work, not just the work itself. One action. What moves the critical path overlay forward tomorrow? I'm going to rerun 1 week's worth of... I'm going to filter data on an Excel sheet, take it back to a week, and get it to run it just on a week. So we can start getting something that looks like what we want it to look like. Perfect. Benny filters the Excel data back to 1 week and runs a critical path overlay test on that smallest data set tomorrow. That's the action. What's the objective for tomorrow? The objective for tomorrow is to create the process map that is going to need modification. Everything I do is I was in a startup incubator back during COVID. So everything that I do, I learned back then, you create a minimal viable product first. And this is exactly what you do with AI as well. Don't go off trying to build some magnificent machine. Get an output as quickly as possible. But get the AI to tell you what's the quickest path to that output. Talking for too long. Good objective for tomorrow. Build the minimal viable process map for the critical path overlay, fastest path to working output. Do you want me to log today's session in a Google tracker right now? Yes, please. So that worked. We'll go and test it in a second, just to show you that it did work. I don't have direct Google Sheet. Appendage tool available right now, but I can create a new... No. Stop. What I can do instead, it's because I haven't done that on my phone, because I've got so many variations of Claude running here. Let's go to projects, Wingman. That update, I couldn't do that on my phone, the Google Sheet update. Do you have access to be able to do the update from today's ORCA session? They work with kids, animals, or AIs, life. Oh dear. Honestly, I can create a Google Sheet. I don't have Google Sheets API tool. Right, no, you can't do it either, right? You can go. So let's come back to you. Can you don't have to be overly technical to do this. You just have to, come on, move. Right, so if we go back to chats, projects, ORCA Wingman. Do you have access to my Google? Too many things wrong there. Do you have access to my Google API? Have a look what's going on above. Can you do the update to my dashboard? Should do. Let me check what tools are available. I have access to Google Drive, but the Google Sheets API access I can create and read files. No. Is download the existing sheet, add tomorrow's row and push it fresh version, but that would be a duplicate file, not an update. The cleanest fix to this is add a Google Sheet MCP connector to your Claude account. Go to Claude. All right, no, we're not going to set it up right now. I'm going to jump off, sort this out, and you'll come back tomorrow and we'll have it run live. Take it, use it, make it a great week. That is the dashboard there, which is not up. No, it's not. That's the dashboard there. Less than 20 minutes it took me to create that. Now I've just got to make sure, and I did push to it live last night. For some reason the connector has disconnected, but we'll get that sorted out and fixed, and we'll come back tomorrow. And tomorrow we will push the data live to there. Take it, use it, make it a great week, and I'll speak soon.
This is a big one, and I've asked the project executive that I respected a lot what the answer to this one is, but I'm going to ask you. When you think about the real objective of a project manager, going back to that loop, what is their actual mission so that we can bring it home for the listeners?
Okay, so the actual mission is, I'd go back to the book by Patrick Lencioni, 5 Dysfunctions of a Team, and the quote in there that says, if you could get all of the people in an organisation rowing in the same direction, you could dominate any industry, any market, under any conditions, at any time. If you could get everyone, the PM's job is to get everyone headed in the same direction. If he could do that, you'll build any project under any circumstances, whatever gets thrown at you at any time. That's my opinion. In my opinion, that is his #1 job.
I love that, and kudos to you for pronouncing his name right. I always get that wrong.
I take a lot of practice to get that right, especially for an Aussie.
Yeah, because